This is Darren Marchant speaking, and I am looking at a cat, as in Caterpillar tractor. Actually, two of them. And what I'm looking at, and here's kind of a neat little diagram, lifting diagram. I always love the warning stickers. Now, this machine is practically standard in heavy construction. And it is heavy. It is very intensely heavy. Both of these are. And if we want to do heavy construction on the Moon and Mars, we're going to have some serious troubles, because these things are super heavy, which is problem number one, getting them there. Really difficult. I mean, we're talking some serious logistical nightmare of cost. To get a set of these, and I do mean set, check out how they clamp that thing in. There's a pin in there. I'm not sure how they get the pin in and out. But that tooth there, this piece right here, rolls back, and then this whole thing can slide out. And that's got room to rock backwards and come out. There's another hook in the back. And these little things are Zerk fittings, and this is hydraulic. And that's how this thing runs. Hydraulic power. Okay? This thing doesn't come all alone. And there's another hookup for hydraulic. These things require a lot of diesel energy. That's what they got behind that little clasp right there. There's a big diesel engine. And the whole back end of this thing is a solid piece of cast iron, huge, to keep the back end heavy so that they can do stuff in the front and the whole thing doesn't whop over. And these tires, they won't work on the Moon and Mars. Another problem with Mars is chlorides, salts of all kinds. There's another really cool diagram that shows one of the problems. You got diesel and hydraulic oil, all kinds of stuff that you have to have with you on Mars or on the Moon in order to keep this thing running, and the diesel engine won't work. It's made to breathe our atmosphere. And its engineering is based off of 1G of deceleration. It's like a big LED panel for a light. And the cab. You couldn't, I don't think you could fit a guy in a standard Apollo era spacesuit in that thing. So these things would have to be completely redesigned. And actually, they might have to be even heavier on the Moon and Mars, because their mass doesn't mean as much on the Moon, especially. With 1/6 gravity, this thing, and horns. Horns don't mean anything in a vacuum, and you're not likely to hear them very well in the thin atmosphere of Mars. So how do we redesign these things? So one, that we can get them to the Moon and Mars. The obvious answer, okay, let's just put away all of the assumptions about atmosphere and supplies and the tires and everything. You take them apart. You ship them in pieces, some assembly required when you get there. Okay? But that answers that fairly decently. That, by the way, is that's a lubricator. It's an automatic lubricator. There's some of the joints on this thing that just as it's running, gets a little tiny squirt of grease. It says automatic greasing system. We had these in Naknek, Alaska, only they were filled with food grade grease for the panning machines. And it's starting to rain. So I'm going to go over, apply a sign, and see if I can't come up with some funding to get some equipment to replace my dependency on the libraries. And that, if I buy the right equipment, I should be able to develop the information I want to distribute and to rebuild a new way to distribute that information. I've got a lot of work to do and a lot of problems to solve. Thank you very much for joining me. We're heading up to this bridge here. Where I intend to fly my sign on the on-ramp. My intentions, in case anybody wants to know, is to supply per diem equipment and anything else I need for the specific purpose of running my YouTube channel and my other information outlets to teach the things that I've been working on explaining. Thank you very much for joining me. This is American Nomad News. Checking out.